Hello there, my name is JD from Studio 2105. Welcome back to MixStream Online and Weekly Update Wednesdays, episode 50. It absolutely blows my mind that we are now at episode 50. I've been doing this YouTube channel for almost a year now, and it's been incredible. We've hit several important milestones. For example, our first 1,000 subscribers, hitting the 4,000 watch hours, and hence being able to apply and being accepted into the YouTube Partner Program. Couldn't have done it without every single one of you out there who has been so supportive. You have been in an amazing and supportive community. For those of you who watch the videos, who watch the live streams, who left the comments, and most importantly, right, every one of you who have been subscribing to this channel, I appreciate every single one of you out there. Now, if you are new to this channel, a warm welcome to you. As usual, I want to give a big thank you and a shout out to all the patrons who help to support the channel financially. Well, if you haven't done so, please do click on the subscribe button and click on the notification bell so that you'll be updated every time I put out a brand new video. Sign up for the email list, right, at bit.ly/mixstreamonline. Do consider signing up and becoming a patron. Head on down to www.patreon.com/studio2105. Patrons help to support the creation of content and to help to support this channel financially, okay? Special perks and benefits, head on down to the Patreon website below to find out more. We've been running the Samsung VO contest for the past 6 weeks, where viewers get a chance to win themselves a Samsung satellite USB iOS microphone. The contest is now closed, alright? We have now come to the end of March, okay? And so the contest is closed. Thank you all so much for watching the unboxing video, for all the responses, and most importantly, right, for your video submissions for the contest. Okay, I'll be picking the winner real soon. So if you want to find out who amongst you is the lucky winner of the Samsung satellite microphone, stay tuned. I will be announcing it in perhaps hopefully next week's video, but really soon. The past 2 weeks or so have been incredibly busy here at the studio. That's why today's video is a day late, so I'm really sorry. I do apologize for it. Last week's video was also 2 days late, unfortunately, but I've just been really swamped and really been busy with work, okay? In case if you haven't noticed, I've been rearranging. I did a major rearrangement and rewiring of the control room here at Studio A. So right, I'll probably put up a picture of it so you can check it out and see how it looks like right now. I've also been working on a project, okay? A project with a major recording artist, okay? A major Malaysian recording artist. The artists that I'm talking about are R&B vocal group VE, right? Which is short for Voices of Euphonious. I'm very proud to share with you their brand new single titled Tunggu, which was co-produced by my Pop Shabit bandmates AJ and Uno, and mixed by yours truly here at Studio 2105. Now, in addition to Tunggu, right, we're also currently working with them on brand new material. Apparently, they have got lots of songs coming up, maybe a full album, who knows, okay? I've just finished recording and mixing a as yet unreleased second single besides this first single, which is out right now. They actually have another song in the works. Now, fans of VE definitely have been really excited. They've been really stoked, right, with their return, as if I'm not mistaken, this is their first new song in over a decade and a half, right? Could be 15, 16, 17 years, okay? So it's really been a long time. Do check out the official music video. I'm going to put up the link up here so you can just click on it, right? Click on the card, or even also down in the description below. So with all the news and updates out of the way, without further ado, let's head on down to this week's featured question. I recorded drums in a small and less than stellar room. I've been unable to get a good fake drum sound. Do you have any formulas that I can use? You've heard me say in this channel many times, and it's an often repeated phrase. It starts with the source. When recording drums, right, it means a good player, a well-tuned, well-maintained drum kit, and a good sounding room, okay? Now, of these three, the last one, which is the room, is the hardest to obtain. You need a fairly good sized room, medium to large size, to get a decent drum room sound, okay? The sound of the room is really important because it helps impart, right, the impression of size and power to the drums. Unfortunately, right, this means that if you try to mic up a smallish sized room, the results usually aren't that great, okay? So my advice, if you have a really small room, it's usually not worth, right, putting up a room mic or an ambient mic to capture it, okay? You need something that's, you need to have a little bit of volume, a little bit of size in order to get that. If I'm sent a track or two of a room mic in a very small room, 99.9% of the times I usually won't be using it, okay, because it doesn't really impart or add anything. What I may use it for is I may really process it drastically, you know, run it to a compressor, a limiter, distortion, saturation, and all that, and use it more of a dirt track and blend it in with the drums, right? But not really a room per se to give the impression and the size of room. Alright, so back to the question, right? If you have a less than ideal drum room, right? So just go in with the close mics, a pair of overheads, and try to fake, right, the drum rooms, okay? So here are a couple of strategies, here are a couple of tips that I would suggest that you can employ. Number one, use drum samples. Now, most drum VST instruments will come with either the option of one or more stereo or sometimes mono room mic options, okay? Now, in my opinion, this is the simplest and the quickest way to get great results, because usually, right, these samples have been recorded in studios with great sounding rooms, with, you know, top-notch vintage microphones and also fantastic outboard gear, okay? You want to find out more about drum sample replacement? I actually have a tutorial video on my channel. Do check it out, just click on this. I'll also leave the link down in the description below. Number two, use convolution reverb. Convolution reverb uses impulse responses, or IRs, to be able to emulate either a space, an actual physical space, such as a room, such as a environment, right? You know, it could be a church, it could be a cave, it could be anything. You want to set up a convolution reverb and load it up with an IR of the space that you want to emulate. For example, take maybe a drum room from a particular studio. Now, use the aux sends, right, from the close mic channels, right, and feed those into the reverb, okay? Now, the standard recommendation is to send it as a pre-fade, but even if you do it as a post-fade, you know, that's usually fine as well, okay? Now, the reason why you want to take it from the close mic channels is so that you can have an option to avoid having too much high end, right? Too much of the treble, too much of the highs that's coming from the cymbals, perhaps the overhead, right? And then having too much of that highs in the reverb. However, again, there's no rules, there's no hard and fast rules. If you want to just take, you want to keep it simple, you just want to take an aux send, right? You want to take an aux send from the overall stereo drum mix, okay? Go ahead, okay? Right? Feed that into the reverb, you may find that it works also. Number three, reamp and record the drums. Now, some of you may have heard of guitar reamping. This is where you record a DI signal of the guitar or bass, and then you take it out, and then you feed it out back to a amplifier and mic it up again, right? So the same strategy and the same concept can also be applied to drums as well. So take a stereo mix of the drums, okay, and send it out to a pair of speakers, right? I love using PA speakers because you can really drive it up loud to excite the room. Or even if you have, you can always take, right, a pair of your monitor speakers as well. That can also work. Place it in a room, right? Like in this case, I could maybe place it out in a live room or place it out in the drum room where the drums are. Re-record the playback, okay? Put up maybe one mic, or if you can, right, put up maybe a pair of mics so that you can capture a stereo sound. Experiment with different rooms or different areas of your studio, or if you're recording at home, in your home, for example, right, maybe a bathroom, right, the tiles inside will definitely result in some interesting sounds, okay? If you have a hallway, you can always put it out in a hallway or a staircase or wherever, okay, right? Experiment and see. Once you've recorded that, you can compress it, EQ it, you know, distort, saturate again, right? Just like how you would take maybe, let's say, regular room mic, right, or dirt mic or something like that, and process it, okay? Number 4, understand what room sound is. The term roominess that we use to describe, okay, is not necessarily a function of the actual room size. Here's what I mean. We describe the sound of a room, right, or we describe a sound as roomy. It's not necessarily because of how big the space is, but actually it's due to the ratio of the direct sound versus the reflected sound. Okay, let me repeat, okay? Right. Roominess, how we perceive something as sounding very roomy is if we hear a lot of the reflected sound, right, compared to the amount of the direct sound that's coming from the sound source, in this case, the drum kit. In a small room, it's of course physically impossible to make the room larger, so there's only one way to sort of increase the apparent size or the apparent roominess of the sound, okay? And that is to decrease the amount of direct sound picked up by the microphone and increase the amount of reflections. This approach is actually my favorite, and right, this is what I personally do here at my studio as well. So when I record drums, I would place GOBO panels in front of the room mics, right? So these are going to go in between the microphone and the drum kit, and these are going to be blocking the direct sound from the mics, okay? The way that I make my GOBO panels also, I have a absorptive side and also I have a reflective side. So the absorptive side is the one that's facing the drum kit, and I have the reflective side facing the microphone. If I'm using a cardioid microphone, if you have a cardioid a mic, right? Face it away from the drums, face it opposite from the drums, and point it out towards the room, towards the walls, okay? That way you will capture a little bit more of the reflection and the room sound as well. Now, if you have a multi-pattern microphone, for example, if you can switch to maybe an Omni or a figure of 8, okay? Right, that will also help you capture more of the surrounding room. A small tip, you would probably want to use maybe a foam windshield. I know I would do that. What that does, it helps to attenuate a little bit of the highs, which again, right, it can be very useful down the line, and you know, it makes the drum room sound a little bit darker. The room mics will sound a little bit darker, right? It helps to cut the highs a little bit, because typically, right, in rooms, right, especially when you are further away from the sound source, the high frequency energy tends to be attenuated. Now, lastly, you can also use some materials such as, you know, plywood, even, or styrofoam panels or something like that, okay? Common materials that you can use, and just simply place them, right, either on the floor around the drum kit or maybe on the walls, okay, around the room. If you have the budget, okay, you can also perhaps, you know, either DIY or purchase or make and employ diffuser panels to further increase the amount of reflections in the room. Alright, so these are the 4 strategies that I would use, just to very quickly recap. Samples, number 1. Number 2, use convolution reverbs. Number 3, reamp and re-record. And number 4, okay, manipulating the sound of the room by changing the ratio of your direct versus your reflected sound. Hopefully these strategies are going to help you to create interesting results I would love to hear from every one of you who's watching this. Do you have maybe your tips and your suggestions on how you would approach? How do you sort of create a fake drum sound, okay? In a situation where you are unable to record drum mics. I would love to hear your tips and your tricks. Maybe you have something that you can share with the rest of us. You can share with me and the rest of the community. I would really love to hear from you. Leave your comments down below. Alright, that brings us to the end of this video. Once again, I can't believe this is episode 50 of Weekly Update Wednesdays, okay? So I guess counting the rest of the videos, the live streams, the other tutorials, the Ask Me Anythings, that's probably like 150 plus videos already, maybe more. I've lost count, okay? But once again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate every single one of you out there. Right, thank you for viewing and watching the videos. Thank you for leaving your comments, all right? I really appreciate it. Do check out the rest of the videos that I have on this channel, okay? And if you have any questions and you have any feedback, please do leave them down in the comments below. If you found this video useful and informative, please do leave a like. Do share this with your friends, and remember to subscribe and click on the notification bell if you haven't done so already. Do consider signing up to become a patron. Head on down to www.patreon.com/studio2105. Alright, okay, time to sign off. Every one of you, right? Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. Take care of your health, take care of your personal hygiene, right? See you real soon in the next video. Happy recording and mixing. Peace, love, and music.